Can you hear me? Great. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Anne Marie. That was spectacular. It brings me back to New Mexico of listening to you and going through the whole process. And just like Lori said, it was quite a process. We went so deep and took a look at, really healing our hearts, our wounds, what we hold in this lifespan. So for all of you that don't know me, I am Lisa Scandalori, and I teach here in the Niagara region. And I'm so grateful that Lori has asked me to come in today and share some tools with you. And my intention for sharing tools and some strategies that you can share with your clients. And basically, I'd like to really tap into a few meditations. Two are breathing. One is with movement, so that we can really regulate, restore, and stimulate, as well as relax, especially what you've been through already this morning, which is so wise, because we recognize, we know that stress really weakens us and our immune system. And we can't change the experiences around us, but we can surely change the experience of the experience. And so what I would like to offer is just that. So let us take some time right now, if you can, wherever you are seated, to place your feet flat on the floor or on a cushion, and sit up nice and tall and straight. So when we take a look at, when I mentioned regulate, we're regulating our body, we're regulating our mind, as well as our spirit. When I talked about restoring is the nervous system. And that's when we really get back into that parasympathetic, that space of, relax, not that space of fight and flight. And when I take a look at, when I shared with you to stimulate, so stimulating through the breath today will tap into your vagus nerve, which will help you to relax your entire being. And it is, presence within your whole body, because we recognize that the vagus nerve runs through the whole body. And of course, relax, your body needs time to heal. And it needs time to, like Anne-Marie mentioned, we have sometimes, our gut gets really tight, with, that feeling of emotion. So we want to really relax the gut, and we really want to bring, freedom to our heart. So the heart isn't heavy anymore. So let's start. Are we all ready to relax? I know I am. So the first part is sitting straight, and I'm going to ask you just to close your eyes and just join me. Your arms, just release them just down by your, on your lap or by your side. Let us together be that part of the solution to heal ourselves. Now that you are in that comfortable position, your eyes are soft. Begin to exhale completely and just surrender to the softness of your own breath entering and leaving your lungs. The in-breath, the out-breath. Let your mind just become absorbed in that sound of the inhalation and that sound of the exhalation. And just follow the breath as it arises, and each breath as it passes. Sense the first moment of that incoming breath. and sense the very last whisper of your outgoing breath. Watch the breath, just as you might watch waves of the ocean, changing from moment to moment. How deep, how shallow, how long, how short, how smooth. Try longer, slower, deep breaths. Begin on the next slow, deep breath. Try holding the breath for the same duration and exhaling the breath for a same duration. This breath is called the 1 minute breath. Let us see if we can inhale ever so gently and slowly to a count of 10. Holding the breath to a count of 10. And releasing the breath just as slow to a count of 10. Let us continue just to feel the freedom of our emotional body, our mental body, our physical body. Continue. Changing the chemistry of our energy field to allow the breath just to flow so gently, so easily. See if you can deepen that breath. As you inhale, slow to that count of 10. See if you can count to maybe 11 or 12. Holding the breath to the same count and releasing the breath to the same count. And now I invite you to take that deep breath. Hold it in. Just be in your body and release the breath out. Just allow yourself to experience your body, your mind, your spirit. Breath is one of our tools that allows us to really anchor our body, our mind, our spirit. It frees us, brings clarity to our mind. We tap into our heart and we heal our heart. We recognize that when we are over bombarded with emotions, with stress. Stress begins to develop in our body. And what happens is we have less oxygen to eliminate any of the waste. And our brain gets totally overloaded with those thoughts and less clarity. Our organs tighten and they are not free. And our glands decrease in function. So it is so important for all of us to take the time and the tools to use the breath of life. And now I'd like to take you into this next exercise to experience. And remember, it is the experience. I hope you all feel very relaxed right now and just feeling that calmness flow through you. This next breathing exercise it's a breath that is a retention, but as well, it's about us moving our body and being just in this position, whether that's, sitting on the floor or sitting in a chair, you can do this exercise. So moving the body allows that energy to free us because we recognize that we have blocked energy in our body. So freeing the energy throughout the body is super important. So I'm going to ask you just to open your eyes if they're still closed in that wonderful, blissful state, so that you can see how this exercise is done. So through this next one, it is known, the meditation is called to balance the stress energy in our body. And I have these handouts for all of you, so I will send them over so that you can share them with your clients as well. And this next one, basically you're going to be sitting up really tall and straight. Your hands will be on your thighs. So, or if you're sitting cross-legged, they'll be on your knees, but thighs are great. You're going to take your tongue and you're going to place it right on the roof of your mouth. So you're going to press it upward. And when you press it up, that then stimulates the thymus gland. We have 3 meridian points right on the roof of our mouth, and it will stimulate the thymus gland. And then that will stimulate just above that, the pituitary gland. And then a little bit deeper in the brain, that little P is the pineal gland. And that brings us into more of a neutral state of mind and brings us into, I would call it in yoga, a meditative mind, so that we can really balance that stress from our bodies. So I'd like you during the whole exercise to make sure the tongue is pushing up on the roof of your mouth. The eyes will be closed, but they'll be they're closed, but they're going to look upward towards your crown of your head. So they'll be just gazing up. The in-breath, how it's done is we're going to inhale ever so slowly like we did earlier in the last exercise and deeply. We're going to hold the breath, but as you hold the breath, I'd like you to begin to flex your spine back and forth. So it looks like this, really simple. So come away from your chair. So come to sit on the edge of it. And then you would flex the body, flex the spine back and forth. And when you run out of the breath, pause. And then pause, be still, exhale the breath through your nose, and then apply the same action. You'll inhale, be present, flexing the spine, so moving that energy through the whole spine, freeing up the heart, freeing up the stress in the body where we hold it. You will then pause when you run out of breath and exhale completely. So let us begin, keeping the tongue pressing on that roof of the mouth just behind your teeth. Inhaling deeply here. flexing the spine as you're retaining the breath. Pausing to exhale. And continue on. Concentrate at your brow point. This breathing exercise has a massive impact on your body, on your nervous system, to really build that stigma. It increases the efficiency in your lungs to bring more oxygen right into the blood. Pressurizes our heart to just adjust. Frees up the adrenal glands, the kidneys, where sometimes that too gets shut down. And let us do 2 more breaths together. And now inhale, straighten your spine, holding that final breath, and concentrate just on your brow point, that point right between the eyebrows. And exhale completely and just relax the breath. Be in that space. Just recognize just how you feel. An opportunity just to go deep into our energy field, to change things, to reorganize through our body, through our breath, through our mind, and tapping into our heart. And when you're ready, just open up your eyes. And I hope you feel just as relaxed as I do doing that exercise with you. Any questions at all? Just you can unmute yourself. I know for me, working with privates and with clients, this helps immensely. You can feel your nervous system, how it's regulated, which is so great because being heightened, in that space of the sympathetic nervous system or the fight and flight and freeze, it's like, whoa, people come in and they're in that space. So just bringing them back to anchoring into that center is really important. Any questions at all?
Well, I was just going to add, Lisa, thank you for that. A lot of times, many of you have heard Lisa before because she often does some work at our conferences. But a lot of times when people are beginning to do this or when it's not so common practice for you, it's hard, right? But we need to understand we're running as therapists, our nervous system is often running at that like hyper arousal level, right? We're in go, go, go. We're constantly on. And these are the things that allow us to kind of press pause, slow down, right? Be in our body. And when we are more regulated, we're more present to hold space for our clients as well. So it's not always comfortable, but it becomes comfortable over time, right? And as we clear out the stuff that makes it uncomfortable to be in our body, that can be helpful as well. And I always appreciate how you tie in the neuro and the cellular stuff and the physiological stuff, because it really does shift things that are in our body that are kind of blocked. We know that. We know trauma, stress, loss, grief gets trapped in the body, right, energetically. And our heart is beating harder than it needs to a lot of the time. Our breathing is impacted. So all of this kind of stuff helps to shift and rebalance the brain as well as the nervous system.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lori.
And I can say, real quick, Lisa, that was fabulous, by the way. I feel so much better.
Me too.
I think even my back is better. But